Hello everyone.
ค่ะ
Yeah, are you ready? Okay. So if you are ready, so the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, we are from USA Group. So that is suffice. So let's start the discussion. The United States is a country that people define freedom for anything. And if you are looking for a country that's capital, when you have the opportunity to travel abroad, the USA is a very good choice to go. Why? Before I tell you the reasons, I have one question for you guys. That is, if you one word for describe your country and why choose this word. Any group can share now? Okay, for example, my country, I keep freedom for describe.
Can it be any words like adjectives, noun, whatever?
Yeah. Adjective, now, whatever you want to describe.
For example, like Thailand, right? Like Thailand, we can give like problematic, something like that.
Excuse me. Can I answer? Korea. In South Korea, I think wonderful is a word to describe Korea. Because South Korea is a country that has beautiful attention, delicious food, idol group, as well as have a variety of beautiful songs such as Diary ของ Treasure and Love Shot ของ EXO and Dynamite ของ BTS
What about the other two? Do you have an idea? Okay, for the Japan, it will be sakura. Okay, because it is a unique tree. It is a beautiful Japan national tree that make people think of sakura when talking about Japan. Thank you.
I want to describe Russia. I think honor because when you visit Russian home, you should bring flower and wine or sweet thing as gift for women in the house and both for men. You should take your clothes and show out before entering the house. If you are invited to have dinner with the family, you should accept all food and offer to you. You should also offer your help for the post-meal cleaning.
Thank you so much. So I will tell the reason. The USA is a very good choice to go, whether it's a shopping place, for example, Times Square with many brand name stores. So this one I pick Dior and Gucci to show you guys. And there also have uh, world renowned natural attractions such as Grand Canyon. And you can also have a wonderful summer in LA or Hollywood. The USA has it all. And also fast food tasting that are different from what your country has to offer. So this one I choose Chick-fil-A and Wendy that is not had in Thailand, but you can see in USA when you go there, including religion sites that have a different theme depending on the age of the participants to suit the age of the church attendance. So if you are adult, you might be play like calmly, but if you are kids or teenager, you can find some fun activity to do. For example, is a concert that I show you.
We want to ask you how is the greeting of your country? For example, my country, USA, a handshake is a greeting when you meet someone.
My country, Russia. Shaking hands is a Russian greeting etiquette when meeting someone. Even if it's a Thai handshake between men and women, Russians make direct eye contact while greeting. If you look the other way, it is considered rude. Men should wait for women to reach out first. Female friends are often greet with cheek-to-cheek greetings when they first meet on the left cheek, followed by the right, and the last on the left. Male friends hug and pat each other on the back.
Can I share in China? In China, Chinese people generally greet each other with greeting and shaking hands or bowing ก็ในประเทศจีนนะคะทั่วไปคนจีนก็จะทักทายกันแบบกล่าวคำทักทายแล้วก็จับมือหรือโค้งคำนับกันค่ะถ้าสนิทสนมกันก็จะใช้การเรียกชื่อแทนการทักทายค่ะ
Can I share South Korea? South Korea has a bowling culture for greeting, but it prioritize the seniority system. The degree of curvature depends on the seniority of the person that we give to, and you have to bow more deeply by the age of the senior. Moreover, bowling is not only used for greetings but also expressing deep gratitude.
For 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 the South Korea greeting word, think everyone has probably heard the word annyeong or annyeonghaseyo. For use them correctly, you want to know how to use the South Korea greeting word because it depends on the seniority too. annyeonghaseimnika we use for greeting the important people or your elderly people that you have long time no meet them or very respect to. 안녕하세요. Used for normal situation with everyone that you have respect to. And 안녕. You can use for your friends or your henchmen.
I can share Singapore. Singapore greeting, 你好, thank you, 谢谢, expression style Singaporean, gently shake hand. Use a Chinese greeting because most of the population in Singapore is Chinese.
I would like to share about Japan. The Japanese greet by bowing and saying the word konnichiwa.
Okay, in the USA to blend with the culture, if you visit the United States of America, there are a few things you should know. Shake hands. Ratings are very prevalent, and American style greeting are similar to shake hand. Handshake are typical greeting here, but there one more thing you should avoid shaking hand. Look each other in the eye because he will regard as polite if you don't make eye contact with him. You are being perceived as disrespectful right away, and when it comes to handshake, it's best to mention your name first. Uh, this is an example of greeting each other for the first time. Hi, I am Man. What is your name?
Hi man, I'm Nisha. Nice to meet you.
Right. It's nice to meet you too. An example of a familiar greeting. Hey, how are you? Hey, I'm great. How are you? What's up?
Next is to my visual language. During conversation with American people, be careful with your language. So you must not use any word that insults others, be as formal or as informal as you want in communicating with them. But do not pepper your remark with derogatory or cuss words, which might offend the sensibilities of the person who you are talking with. For example, you shouldn't use the word fat because it's a very sensitive word for American people เหมือนกับว่าคำว่า fat ของอเมริกันนะคะคือเขาห้ามใช้เลยเหมือนมันแย่มากกว่าคำว่าแบบว่าคำหยาบบ้านเราอะค่ะ
Okay, so if you have a chance to go to the restaurant in the USA, leaving tip is a usual thing. Tips make up a large percentage of some service worker. It's rude to walk out of a restaurant without having to leave a tip here. You can leave a tip between 10 to 20%, but some restaurant or resort in the United States will automatically include a tipping fee. So make sure you tip for service on your travels correctly.
Okay, and if you come to the USA, you might find something not used to your culture. For example, do not take off your shoes when visiting an American house. If you have the opportunity to visit or go to someone else's house, do not casually take off your shoes or bare feet in front of others. It will make other people look like you are not okay and you look bad. But if you are alone in the bedroom or between lovers, you can take off your shoes. So do not take off your shoes when visiting an American house. Last but not least, you may have a culture shock. With the strange culture of the USA, we would like to give one example is do not give white lilies as gifts. As for flowers, lilies are a funeral flower. That is why we don't often give lilies. But also, roses are more romantic. So I would not bring those as a gift either. Flowers are not typically given, but if you do want to bring flowers, something like daisy is always a safe bet. Okay.
And we want to know what should be done in your country.
In Russia, showing face is not polite. Whistling in the shade is also considered disrespectful as they are believed to be superstitious to herald poor financial performance. When you point, do not use one finger, but use the whole hand because using a finger is a bad gesture. Similarly, in Russia, showing affection in public seems not to be a good thing, and they usually don't discuss sex and politics at the dining table.
I want to share about South Korea. In South Korea, age is important. You don't drink when in front of the elders. You should turn your face away while you drinking, so the elder don't want to see you drink, and you don't start eating or drinking before the elders. The orders of eating is according to the age. This is sign of respect to the elders.
I want to share Japan. Japan doesn't have to tip. This is normal with the nation, but not with the Japanese people because Japan will consider service which harsh.
And the Japan uh uh you don't overtake the queue because overtaking in Japan is illegal. Yeah.
I want to share in China. In China, do not write any message. in red ink ก็คือเหมือนห้ามเขียนข้อความใดๆก็ตามด้วยหมึกสีแดงอะค่ะเพราะว่าเขาเชื่อว่าเป็นเหมือนเป็นการประท้วงแบบไม่พอใจอะค่ะแสดงความไม่พอใจแล้วก็ do not give watch or books as gift to Chinese people ก็คือไม่ควรให้นาฬิกาหรือหนังสือเป็นของขวัญแก่ชาวจีนค่ะ
Hello, teacher. So, do you want to share about a weird culture shock that you have seen before?
Culture shock. I have several stories. It was when I was in the States. I'm okay with wearing shoes in the house, right? But we just feel familiar with taking off shoes when we get into the house, right? Or even it's just like our own house, so we just take off shoes, right? Because we just prefer cleanliness, right? Because if you wear shoes inside the house, so it's gonna take like because we walk around in the dirt. So one day I was hanging out with my friends in the room in the house, and my friend, one of my American friends, he wanted to check out my bedroom. Okay, so he just walked around from the living room to my bedroom, and suddenly when he saw my bed, he just suddenly ran and jumped over it without taking off shoes. And I felt, what? And I just told him like, no, come down, stop doing that. It's dirty and I sleep on the bed and you shouldn't do that. And I explained just a little bit of that. And another thing is that another day I was lounging in the living room, sleeping on the couch, as you may say, the sofa. Okay, I was just like relaxing on the couch, and at that time I had long hair, and the couch facing the door, the front door, and my friend came over. She was standing at the front door. She was talking to my friend and she saw me, and then they changed the topic to talk about hair, because at that time I had long hair, and then she just saw my hair and she said like, yeah, right, yes, you have very nice hair. And then when you are close to someone, sometimes people can ask you, or they just touch your body and your hair, or something like that, your possessions, right? Things that you possess anyway. And I'm okay with people touching my hair anyway. But I was laying down on the couch, and I felt like like a hand touching my head and hair. So I thought she was using her hand to feel my hair. And I looked at my friend at the other end of the couch. He looked shocked because he was Thai as well. He looked shocked and he just burst out like, hey, it's not a hand. And then when I looked up, I saw that she was using feet, a foot, feeling my hair. Did you get my point? So that's another story that I encountered. And another one is that the this one wasn't like the wasn't like the culture shock or anything, I guess, but it was really like the stigma that some people have attached to Thai people. I was transferring. I was in the middle of transferring process from Belgium to Finland when I had a trip to visit my friend in France. And when I had a transfer in Belgium, I was waiting for the plane and I was waiting for the flight, and I just unexpectedly made talk to a guy who was sitting next to me in the gate area. And we just talked and it's fine. And he said like, yeah, okay, we should, that's good to talk. And maybe we can meet up when the plane landed, when we plane land. Okay. And when we boarded, then I didn't see him, but when the plane landed, he found me. And it's the horrible experience because he just tried to convince me to get back to his room, to go to his room, okay? And then he just talked forward. I was like, I was a little bit uncertain at first because he kept insisting like the yeah, shall we go and do you have a room tonight and you want to take a shower or something like that? And at that time I was somehow I was young, and he just asked me like, you want to do that? So I just asked him straightforwardly, like, what's the purpose of that? And he just said like, all right, so we just get back, you just take a shower, relax, and then we can have sex together. So I was like, no way. And then he looked utterly upset and he walked away. And it was like, what the heck? So that means like you are trying to be friends with me because you just want to you have an intercourse? I was like, okay. That's another funny story though. When I look back, I was like, oh, okay. That's another. I can say somehow to a certain extent, it's just like a little bit of culture shock as well, because it's like the I have never, at that time, I have never experienced like people said something straightforwardly to me regarding sex, you know what I mean? So that could be like another way, because as you can see, like when it comes to romantic matters in Western world, so they may, to a certain extent, they are quite frank, right? They are quite straightforward of these things. Was it too lengthy? Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. That's my story though. But if you want to know, I still have some more like horrible experiences regarding my travel anyway. All right, that's like the 2 or 3 culture shock stories that I've experienced. Do you have any?
I don't think it's have like a kind of like you, but I have one time I go to the high school and everyone there is put the feet on top of the table, and that is the
okay.
first time I go there, and I was like, I'm so shocked that I seen everyone do that, because Thai doesn't do that, right? It's a cultural thing and traditional things.
Yeah.
so แบบเหมือนประมาณว่าแบบทุกคนก็เหมือนเอาเท้ามาวางอย่างงู้นอย่างนี้แล้วก็มี one time ก็คือตอนที่อยู่กับโฮสต์อะค่ะก็คือเหมือนว่าเขาอะจะไม่ค่อยสมมติว่ามันจะมีของอยู่ข้างล่างใช่ไหมคะเขาก็จะไม่ใช้มือเลยหนูก็เลยแบบตอนแรกๆที่หนูไปก็หนูก็จะใช้มือที่จะแบบผลักของอย่างนี้พอทีนี้เหมือนแบบทำไมไม่ใช้ฟุตทำไมไม่ใช้งูอย่างนี้คือตอนนั้นก็เลยแบบเหมือนเราเริ่มแบบติดการที่เราใช้เท้าในการที่จะแบบผลักของอะไรงูอย่างนี้เราก็เลยแบบพอเรากลับมาที่ไทยอย่างเงี้ยเราก็จะชอบโดนด่าเยอะ ว่าแบบทำไมแบบทำอย่างนี้ทำตัวอย่างนี้แบบพฤติกรรมอย่างนี้มันแย่อะไรอย่างนี้นะแบบอย่าใช้เท้าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยถ้าเป็นคนไทยมันจะแบบค่อนข้างซีเรียสมากค่ะ
Right. It's the same thing. I had yeah. When you talked about that, so this reminds me the my another. I would say that one was that one was my first culture shock that I felt that as well, because at that time again it happened in Finland when I was having an internship there like decades ago. I was hanging out with my friend because at that time I want to try some good snacks, Finnish snack. Okay, I went to the supermarket with my friend and we were browsing the alley, the snack alley, the snack section, and then I just look through the chocolate, like okay, which one is good, and I saw the lower shelf that they have this kind of different chocolate, and I looked at that. I crushed there, and I looked around, and my friend just like, hey, look at this. He was looking at the chocolate on the top on the lower shelf, and suddenly it's right like not too far from my face. He just lift the left foot, and then pointed at the chocolate right in front of my eyes. I was like, whoa. I was shocked, like, okay, so you use your feet to point at something. And then I just, okay, I've learned about that. And as similar as your story. So when I travel to different places, now I would say now I feel I just get used to using feet, pointing, moving things around all the time right now when it comes to the lower part of my body if it's too low. So I nowadays I still use my feet pointing at something or just moving things, open the door, something like that. I still use that if I don't have my hands available at that time, or I just I just feel lazy. I just feel lazy to bow my body to duck and then to just try to use my hand to point at something at the low level, very low level, something like that. I still use my feet to do that. I don't care right now anyway. I just feel like whatever. And when I do that, my friends, all of my friends, my family, they always blame and they always like looked at me shockingly again, like, don't do that. Don't do that. I said, like, it doesn't matter. It's just like a blink. It's just like a short period. It doesn't matter anyway. I don't cause any dirt on things that I point at. Why do we have to do like that? But I understand we have been governed by the culture, right? Using feet, it's impolite because feet are like the dirty, right? Dirty, and feet are like, I don't know, dirty, right? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I feel like you so ก็คือเหมือนแบบมันก็มีเยอะแยะไม่ว่าจะเป็นแบบเหมือนโฮสต์ก็จะมีน้อง3 ขวบใช่ไหมคะเขาก็แบบมีอยู่วันหนึ่งก็แบบหนูก็นอนอย่างเงี้ยแล้วลูกเขาก็เอาเท้ามาเล่นบนหัวแล้วตอนแรกหนูก็แบบเฮ้ยอย่าทำนะอย่าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยแบบรู้สึกแบบไม่ชินแต่หลังๆไปแบบทำไปเถอะแบบมันเหมือนแบบไม่สนแล้วพอเรากลับมาอยู่ที่ไทยแล้วแบบมันเหมือนแบบเราไม่รู้ว่าจะปรับตัวยังไงอะไรด้วยอะค่ะมันก็เหมือนแบบบางครั้งก็ต้องละไว้บ้างหรือบางครั้งก็แบบใครไม่อยู่ก็ต้องใช้เท้าเตะของแล้วแบบมันเหมือนเราเคยทำแล้วอะไรเงี้ยแบบเรา used to it แล้ว
Yeah,
just like
but
you.
I'll just for me as well. I'll just use my feet, not just like in front of the public. I just like just like between my friends or people that I feel familiar with. So I just like okay, I use that. Yeah, we just take it like consider the context or the situations.
And the first time I got there, I go to the grocery. That is, if I compare to Thailand, it's gonna be like Lotus หรือว่าBig C อะไรอย่างงี้ใช่ไหมคะ But I didn't know that it's a grocery. Like I think it's gonna be like a big mall or something like that. So
Like Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart, HEB. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So first time I dress up like แบบเต็มเลยจัดเต็มเลยพอทีนี้เขาถามว่าเราจะไปแบบ grocery กันนะอะไรอย่างงี้ใช่ไหมคะ
Yeah.
เขาก็แบบมองจะไปไหนหรออะไรอย่างเงี้ย
Okay, I understand. It's like you're going to Macro or Tesco, and then you dress up like you are going to the downtown Siam, something like that, right?
But in the same time ไทยก็คือแบบคนไทยอย่างเงี้ยเวลาเราไปโลตัสอะเราก็ต้องแต่งตัวโอเคหน่อยใช่ไหมคะ
Yeah,
ที่จะไป
right.
แต่คนที่นู่นคือไปสภาพไหนก็ไปเถอะแบบเหมือนไปแบบชุดนอนอย่างเงี้ยก็ไปได้เขาแบบ didn't care anything อะไรประมาณนี้ค่ะที่จะแชร์
Yeah. I don't know when you get when you get older, comfort is just the best way. You know what I mean? The way to you when you go around, when you get around. And so we just like nowadays somehow I just don't care that much when I have to like when I go to places, but I just have some like slightly dress code that I think of, but I just think of my comfort as the first priority when I choose right now, when I choose my clothes. Yeah. I'll try to get my clothes like dress up where I can go anywhere, something like that. But yeah, just try to make myself more as comfortable as I can.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Miss Art. So next.
When you come to USA, you should research do and don't in the culture of the USA. Avoid shock or culture shock. And beside the USA is a country that people define as freedom. If you like that everyone has equal freedoms, the USA can be an option for you.
And the last question to ask you guys is, give me an example, the culture shock of your country.
So you asked me before, right? So you just asked like my question in advance, something like that.
That is a USA culture shock, but I want to know the other country.
Okay, so I told you guys already my culture shock in Finland, in Brussels. I still have some as well when I was in France, and I just stayed with my friend, my Chinese friend, and I had a culture shock as well in his culture, in his apartment.
Can I share about South Korea? Okay. Did anyone know Breeze? Breeze มันคือพวงหลีดนะครับผมก็ we are already know that Breeze will use in at the funerals yeah like พวงหลีดนะครับเรารู้กันอยู่แล้วว่าใช้ในงานศพ but in Korea they use in any culture like they use in celebrating or anything like when you marry they will give breed for you like and เหมือนว่าแบบบางคนก็อาจจะเข้าใจว่าเฮ้ยแช่งบอกว่าเฮียให้พวงหลีดกูอะไรเงี้ยแต่ว่าจริงๆไม่ใช่นะครับก็คือแบบเขาอวยพรอะไรครับประมาณนั้นนะครับผมก็อาจจะแบบบางคนอาจจะไปแต่งงานที่นู่นก็อาจจะเจอเขาจะชอบแบบนี้ไปครับ
I think it's similar to what right now nowadays that you give the floral garland, right? But it's just like the things the Thai floral garland nowadays because it's made of like different kind of material, right? You see like they're made of soap, they're made of some other aromatic materials, right?
But some place that made with spoon because it's cheap than flour.
Yeah, right. Something like that. So it's just like I'm just trying to compare, right? Because back then when we give floral garland to anyone, they just look at like, what the heck, right?
Yes.
Especially like we just give garland just only like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and wedding, just that, right? But nowadays we can give in any occasions, right? But I think this one can be translated to American people as well, right? Because they give it to people during Christmas as well, right? You can give the flower, the reed when you visit your friend, when you are invited to come over, have dinner, something like that. Sometimes they just give a reed at Christmas. I've seen it. right? Yeah, and I think like weeds in the Western world, it's more like the like a flower garland or like a bouquet, right? They don't really have like specific negative connotations when it comes to a weed.
I'm from Russia group. The culture shock of Russia is Russians keep a smile on their faces only their acquaintances, like family or friends or working people, but they will not smile when they are alone or stay with strangers. But in Thailand, we are always smile at everyone, including strangers. So when we go to Russia, people over there might find it strange.
I'm from Singapore. In Singapore, do not carry chewing gums because it is illegal and prostitutes are legal. Because in Thailand, carrying gum is not wrong. คือหมายถึงในสิงคโปร์ค่ะ แบบถ้าแบบพกหมากฝรั่งอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ จะแบบผิดกฎหมายแล้วก็จะโดนปรับ
Okay, I want to give you more things regarding the this one as well. If you know that Finnish people as well, similar to Russian, they don't smile. In general, they don't smile as well, because I lived there for a certain period of time, and some of my friends, even my colleagues, they also say like they don't smile as well because they don't know what is the smile for. So they don't smile as well. When you look at them, basically they smile at only family or people they are friends, family or people they know already, but in general they don't smile. And you can see like the when most of the time when in the movies or in anywhere when they represent Finnish people, so they just said like Finnish people, they have like a still face, I would say, like face with no expression because they don't like to smile. That's another of their culture, so they don't smile really. And it happens as well because when they walk around, when they walked on the street, and I don't see people smile that much, and at first I felt a little bit hostile, a little bit insecure, like why? Because I came from Thailand, right? And people smile all the time. Well, when it comes to culture shock, sometimes it doesn't have to be between countries, right? Even though in the same countries, you may have the experience of that, you may experience the culture shock between culture in a single country as well. Have you ever experienced anything when you travel locally, domestically?
Does anyone want to share it more about culture shock? So if no, I think it's that all for our discussion. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much for your discussion. Okay, so yeah, we talked about more about like culture, so we learned. So yeah, the discussion, this one, yeah, basically culture shock can happen in various situations. Okay, it doesn't have to be just only yeah, basically it happens when you travel, right? When you travel around and you see people doing something strange from what you have practiced. Okay, so just like that. And the culture shock doesn't have to be isn't limited to just when you walk on the street, right? It can be how they eat, how they drink, how they do things, right? How they relax and whatever. So yeah, and what I have read from you guys, that story talk also, you also talk about the how some countries like Japanese and Chinese people slurp their noodles, right? That's another things to consider and as a culture shock. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for your discussion. Okay, I hope you learned something more regarding other countries. Okay, so shall we have a break? Just a little bit, and then we can have something more to talk about of the rest of the contents. Okay, shall we have a break?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a break and then we can return and we can continue with the rest. See you after the break. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the talk about the discussion regarding the culture. So I hope you learned something. Okay. So last week, so we left with the mishaps, right? Undesirable experience, some accidents that can happen during traveling. So this week, I'll just talk briefly regarding, I believe some to a certain extent you have known already. So we just like talking about health as well. But I'm gonna talk about health in two big aspects. We're gonna talk about like the visiting the doctors, no? So I hope it can be helpful to you guys in order to communicate in English, in order to communicate, to express your feelings, your symptoms or whatever. Some of them you might know already. So just try to refresh what you have learned or something like that. No, you may know already, but if you know something more, so you can share. Now you can share with us as well. Yeah, to make it more suitable to your discipline, to your major, it's okay too. Okay. All right. In this one, I'm gonna talk a little bit about at the doctors here. Okay. And when we talk about doctors, when you travel and you feel like bad, right? You have an accident and feeling unwell when you travel, it's quite unpleasant, right? And if when you visit hospital or clinic or whatever during the travel and you can't communicate in the language, if they don't use English, that's okay, right? You can just feel, and you just not okay, just like at least you have to know how to express yourself in either like in English or in the local language in order to help you describe symptoms, what you feel, right? And yeah, you travel, you feel bad, and you need medical attention, and you need to describe symptom. So what do you think about communicating with a doctor in a foreign language? How? Can you imagine the situation there? You were there and you have to communicate with the doctor in a foreign language. How would you feel? Difficult, awkward?
I think I feel confused because I don't know they can speak English or not.
Okay. But you are trying to speak English anyway, right?
Yeah, probably like that.
Yeah, but you still have doubts, right? Whether they will really understand what I'm saying or they will understand how I feel. They're gonna treat me they're gonna give me the exact treatment to what I feel or not, right? Okay. Anything else? Right, that's what most people are concerned about that, right? Because like we're gonna get the right treatment, we're gonna feel better or not, especially if you're traveling as well, you have some period of time that time frame that you want to explore this and that you have planned to fulfill, right? And then when you feel sick, so it disrupts your travel plan anyway. Okay, so this one at least this in this week. So I'll just give you guys, want to give you guys like at least if you know keywords or you just know how to describe just a little bit of that, so it might help you get through some difficulties in this situation. I know like you're not feeling well and then you feel bad already, right? So the first thing, I believe you know that already. Now, when we talk about the first that can start, we can start with a part of the body, because when you feel sick, it can happen in anywhere in the body. So I believe you know that the body part already. You know anatomy. I believe you know better than me as well, because you know every single anatomical vocabulary all over the body, right? So you know like which one is called and whatever. So yeah, just apply that, because just give you ideas like, okay, when you first to describe something, so start with the body. And then when you arrive, so they want to know, right? They want to know what troubles bring the patient to the doctor's office. So it may start with, you may hear some of these questions, right? What brings you here? What is bothering you? What seems to be the problem? How can I help you? Okay, but how can I help you? I would say, how can I help you? It can be anywhere, right? Now it can be like in the shop, in anywhere, seriously. So that's the first thing. And then when you are asked about that, so to a certain extent, you need to accurately describe your symptoms and the corporal location. So it's just like symptom and where it is located. So you said like, I have a backache, headache, toothache, whatever. Now think about parts of the body that you feel bad. So just say that. Okay, my leg, you can point at that as well. I have some discomfort on my blah, or I have like my head, my back, my leg, my foot, my stomach hurts. So just like point at things and then you just say like that. So just use this very simple body vocabulary. So you just give them the grade. Like it's like moreover, if you feel like, okay, this one just gives general ideas about like where the location, how you feel, and then you can add adjectives to make it more detailed, to make it more accurate how you feel. Okay, so you can say like, my throat feels scratchy, or my chest feels constricted, my feet are swollen, something like that. Use adjective to describe more about the symptoms that you are experiencing. Okay, you can do these things that to just give you some general ideas that, and then can you describe the feeling you might feel when you experience such ailments? Okay, so perhaps we can try just a little bit. Imagine you are sick. How can you describe yourself? Can you give me some example of your past experience when you are sick? And then you can describe just a little bit. I'll give you about like 2 minutes to think of it, and then you can share. Okay, how you feel, how you describe your sickness, symptoms. Just a little bit. Can you share? Okay, I'll just give you some time to think about it, and then you can share whenever you're ready.
I want to answer.
Yeah.
For example, I feel on the road and I feel burning in the wound and itching around it.
Okay, you was on the road, right? And then you feel what? You feel
burning.
Oh, the burning sensation. You are feeling a burning sensation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel queasy, something like that. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing. Okay, so yeah, when after you can you feel like you can describe with the part of the body. So next thing, so that's even more accurate if you just go to illnesses, right? Common illnesses. So I believe you know names of the common illnesses already, but yeah, I'll just give you a list of that, like the common illnesses, like you can tell people like allergies, nah? Colds and flu, pink eye, diarrhea, headaches, sunburn, stomach aches. These are like common illnesses. You can think of any other common illnesses, no? But this one, no, conjunctivitis, no, as you know, if you know the scientific word. But in Thai we call ta dang, no? But in English we call pink eye, okay? This one, just be careful just a little bit when you use this one, no? In Thai we just use red eye, no? But red eye in English, it refers to the late night, okay, or lack of sleep, something like that. So we use red eye instead of that. No? But pink eye, it refers to this kind of illness. Okay. So that's another way. Okay. So you can use illness. Okay. When you talk about illness, so you can describe symptoms as well. Okay. So when you know that, okay, you have this kind of illness, so you can use the symptomatic descriptions, no? So you can describe by using adjectives and adverbs to make it more accurate. Okay, look at this sample here. Okay, so you know already, you know that it's like you feel a drop in your head, so you have a headache. So you can say like, I have a terrible headache. I have a mild stomachache. Now I feel a little dizzy when I get up, or my throat is terribly irritated, or I feel intense pain in my leg when I move around. Okay, so you can use all these adjectives or adverbs in order to intensify or to be more accurate about your symptoms. Like I can give you this one, okay? You can use common intensifying adverbs here. Okay, I'll just give you some ideas about that. You can have like the excessively, extremely, fully, incredibly, especially, strikingly, very, totally, terribly, absolutely, awfully, something like that to describe whether it's positive or negative things that you can just use then one. And also the adjective, so you can use like absolute, awful, complete, utter, total, small, slight, real pain, something like that. You can use as well, like to describe, to make it more accurate, to your symptoms. You can use these things to help you, and also when you know about when you know how to describe these things, you know the location, you know the feeling already. So next thing is that, so they may need to know when it happens. Okay, so when it happens, so you can describe symptom where it begins. Okay, where it begins, when it begins. Okay, we talk about time. So you know where it is, so we just use the time. Now it's just like the irritating feeling in my throat started last week. Okay, I have had these rashes for several days, or my daughter has been exceptionally suffering from the pain in her left arm since she returned from the trip. So these things, right? So you can see all the words that you can use, like the temporal words, word telling time. Okay, so you can combine, you see this one, right? So I just kept this sentence, I just combine all of them all together. I just use to describe like adjective, intensifying adjective, adverbs. And also I put the time in this as well in order to help see you, right? This one is more accurate, right? Just like the, just give ideas, ideas like the, where the doctor should go and examine your and try to diagnose your symptoms. Yeah, it just give you some help. So yeah, you have to like, you don't have to remember everything, okay? So you just like try to use it whenever you feel, try to use it, try to get familiar with that. And then maybe in your study, you may experience something, you may see something like when you walk around the hospital and then you see it, so you can just get yourself familiar with that, look at some of the patients and then you describe them, something like that. So that should be helpful to you guys to get familiar with the language that you can use anyway. All right, so the next thing is that, so after we this one, so I just want to have you guys can identify, okay? I'll just have you read the text and underline all the action words or verbs here, okay, in this one. So we can go to our Miro platform, okay? And then we can try to see how many words that you can find to describe symptoms. Okay, so let me get you to the exercise first. So it's right here, here. Okay, so you can use underlines. You can get anything. You can use circle. You can use rectangular. Whatever. You can write. You can cross. Read it first, okay, and then try to find action words and verbs. You can also find any words or group of words that describe symptoms, okay? What? Did you delete it? Okay. Okay, so what do we have? So we have these kind of words here. All right, so yeah, you can identify some of them. So that's okay. Okay, I'll just give you some examples, right? So we can go back to our slide and we can see what I have for you. Okay, so you see in the about phase here. Okay, so these are suggestions. Okay, all the words. Okay, so it can be like suffering, blurry, intense stabbing pain, intolerable, unable, nauseous, throw up, no, weaker, no, disappear, slight headache, reoccur occasionally, unfortunate, chronic condition. Okay, so it can be these things, okay? It can be these words that you can use to describe as well. So just give you some ideas, more ideas regarding the symptoms and diseases, illnesses, okay? Symptoms, illnesses, feelings. Okay, so just give you some idea that, yeah, you can apply it to the situation when you want to go, when you have to go to the doctors. Okay, that's another, that's the point that I want to give you guys, these things. Okay, do you have any questions? Are you still following? Are you with me? Are you still there? Okay. All right. So that's another point that I want to give you guys, just a quick information regarding this one. Okay, at the consulars. Okay, at the consulars here. Okay, if you look at the joke here, so it's just quite funny. Do you understand it? Here? Do you get a joke? Do you understand it? The joke down here? Right, when we go, basically when you talk about like consular, when you want to get, yeah, you go to the doctors for accidental problem, right? And when you have some thing, some problem regarding official documents, right? When you travel, so you have to go to the consulate, you go to foreign affairs, you go to embassy, right, to contact them. So they just say, like, they just play around with the foreign affairs, right? Because with the word affairs here, they have two different meanings. When the first one, when you talk about affairs, so they talk about like the business. Okay, and sometimes we can use the word affairs in order to talk about the people cheating on someone romantically, something like that. So you can say that affair as well. And then this one, foreign affairs, so it means that they have like the foreign affairs, so they have like the ชู้ต่างชาติ something like that. So that's the way that the joke they come up with these things. Okay, so it's just like this one, there's a joke that I want to just tell you just a little bit. But yeah, when it comes to official documents, right? When you travel and then you lose something or you have a problem with something, so it's quite painful, right? But I just want to give you some information that the consular, so it depends on the countries now that you go to, right? But basically you go to the embassy, you know, embassy, so just go there and then you just discuss with that. And this one, in this case, I just want to give you just the knowledge, just a little bit when you travel. The first thing when you travel, so you need a passport, right? You go to the embassy, or you go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then you just get the passport. So the first thing when you travel, right? You need identification. You need identification, so you need a passport. But if you travel in Thailand, so if you travel in the country, so you just need the national ID, right? But when you go to the other places, the other countries, so you need a passport. And then when you need a passport, so you can see the passport here, right? They have like this one that I just get. Now I got a new one, the passport. So it looks like this. So you may see like the e-passport, right? And when you travel some countries, you can have a passport and then you can just go to the other countries, right? Some, it may be difficult because there are 4 kinds of passport, 4 kinds of visa. So you need a visa in some countries. So you need a visa as well in order to travel to other countries. Okay, but there are, when you apply for the visa, no? So you can apply visa for in different ways. Okay, you can apply for online visas, embassy, consular visas, and visa on arrival. So they are different. Okay, online visa, so you just apply online and then they just give you some e-visa, and then they just put into your passport, and that's fine. Okay, embassy, consular visa, so you have to go to the embassy or the consular in order to get the visa. You just have to submit all the documents physically. And visas on arrival, this one is very convenient because when you go to other place, when you travel to one place and when you arrive, so you can do the visa there. Okay, it depends on the regulations that they have between the countries. Okay, like most of foreigners when they come to Thailand, so they can do the visa on arrival as well. It's easy. Okay, and type of visa, when we talk about visa, so there are 4 types of visas here. Okay, so I'll just give a little bit of this one. Okay, visa, there are 4 types. So they have like electronic visas, visa stamps, visa stickers, and visa documents. Okay, so the first thing basically, first time that I travel around, so I get 2 of these things. I get visa stickers and visa stamp. When I first traveled to the States, to Finland, so I get the visa stickers first. So the visa sticker is just like this one. Okay, they just put like a sticker on your passport, but you have to submit it like at the embassy or the visa service here. So when you put on that, when you submit the document, then you get the sticker visa. Okay, it takes time to process. And also the visa stamp here, I got them when I traveled to France, because I have the Schengen visa. So when you go through, so they just look at your visa and then they just stamp and then you just go through it. So this one is like a visa stamp. Okay, and the visa document and electronic visas, they are quite the same thing, but the visa document, so you just have the physical document. Okay, but this one, I just give you this one. It's just like the electronic visas here that I got from the Australian embassy. Okay, so I submit everything at the embassy. And then they just issued me the electronic visa. So it's very convenient because they don't give anything to you. They don't do anything to your passport. Okay, it's in the record. You just bring your passport when you get to the immigration. So they're gonna scan and they look at it. So you don't have to carry any paper or anything at all. But the visa document, so you need to carry the paper in order to show people like, okay, you have the visa as well. So in different countries, they have different regulations in order to get the visa anyway. So you have to go and talk and study about where you want to go and then just apply for the visas anyway. And also visa, they have like this one, as I told you now, visa free access, not e-visa. Anyway, and I just want to give you, because that's when you hold a passport, right? Sometimes, like some of your friends may have experience already, like you travel to Korea, travel to Japan, travel to some other neighboring countries, right? So you don't need a visa. So I just want to give you the idea that there are no visa requirements for Thais. Okay, so we have like approximately 39 or 40 countries that we don't need a visa when we travel to these countries. Okay, but the duration when you stay in those particular countries, in these countries, okay, it ranges from 7 days or several days, I would say. Sometimes it's just less than a week, okay, up to a month. It depends on the country, so you have to check it again, okay? But yeah, at least you know, right? When you want to travel to these countries, so you don't need to go and apply for any visas at all. Okay, that's the perk. Okay, Thailand, we have just only like 39 or 40 countries, okay? But yeah, I've heard like the Taiwanese people, they can travel like up to like 90 countries around the world. The States, you can go up like Canadian passport can go up like more than 100 countries around the world without a visa, something like that. Yeah, it depends on how powerful your passport is as well. Okay. So yeah, so you can plan. Now this one, it's just like no pain at all, right? Because when you submit for the visa, so it's quite painful as well. You have to show this and that, you have to prove that you have this and that. But if you have like the privilege to go to the countries that they don't need visa, so just take the privilege, no? Seize the moment and then just go to these countries as well to travel around. Even though like I was surprised that we can go to Brazil without a visa, and Russia as well, right? We don't need to go to, we don't need to get a visa for Russia up to like a month. As Russia is one of the countries that I want to travel there. Okay, and I want to go to Brazil as well, but Brazil, it's like taking too long to travel because you have to go to the South America, right? So it's very long trip anyway, and it takes like over a day to travel from Thailand to Brazil. Okay, so just have a look at it. Just, yeah. If you want to go to any country, so just go to their website and then to see how they require the visa for our nationality. Okay, these are like the things that I want to give you guys some more ideas regarding help consular during the way. Now talking about travel mishaps, talking about things that can happen during the trip is quite it's quite unpleasant, right? So try to be aware, but you cannot get you cannot avoid it, right? You cannot avoid that as well. Like the and other country as well. Other countries they may have like the when you have see the emergencies, right? When the emergency comes, so you can have like the yeah, there's emergency situations, right? Emergency situations, so they have like the different numbers that you can call to, right? They have different emergency numbers as well. So this one I just give you the idea as well, like the yeah, right? So you can, when it comes to the emergency, so you can have like these phrases, right, to report, right? The emergency, like the you call what number, right? Call ambulance, accident, and then if you know the condition of those people, so you just say like, yeah, I've been robbed, I've been mugged, people are shot, something like that. People have been shot. I've lost my way, lost my wallet. Please hurry. These things that you can use for the emergency situation as well. Okay, but you can just call the number as well. So they have like some specific numbers that you may have to remember when you happen to travel, and then in case of emergencies. Okay. So that's the general idea that I could give you regarding helps during travel, and then when you accident mishaps happen, so what you should do. Okay. Feel sick, have that accident, and also when you have the problem with your official documents when you travel, so you can go to some particular places. Now you can combine them together with what we talked about last week, right? So I hope I won't go too fast or too slow, and I hope the contents might be useful to you one way or another, okay? More or less to help you guys travel easily, to help you guys plan your travel, in this case, so this one is just like a bad experience, So after yeah, that's pretty much about the contents for this week. So do you guys have any comments, concerns, any questions at all? Are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Any comment, concerns, suggestion, anything, questions?
ไม่มีค่ะ
Okay, if you don't have anything, so I just want to talk just a little bit of this one, because as we know that we're not gonna see each other, because now we are here on the week 13, right? Here we finished this one already. And as you see that we're not gonna see each other for the next 2 weeks. Then after that, when we start that thing, so after the next 2 weeks, so we can start with the your 6th discussion. Right, and then you have just only 1 week to finish your project, and we also have to do the formative test number 2 as well here. So what I want to ask you is that what you're gonna do with the next 2 with the rest of the 2 weeks here. Do you guys feel like combining as the plan that we do the project presentation and the test together on week 17 and you have the discussion on week 16. Is that okay to you, or you want to split it? You want to make it like, yeah, I want to have the test first or something like that. You can talk to me. This one, it's just like the conversation that we have to talk about it. Are you okay with the plan that, are you okay with the schedule that has been planned here? Or you want to make some modification? We can negotiate, so you can talk about it. Okay? Think about it, because I think I have asked you to think about it last week, right? So you just want to let it be as it is, or you want to change something? Anyone, any ideas? Any comment?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, what? And it is, right?
Follow this.
Follow the schedule.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So you want to follow the schedule, so it's fine. Okay, so we just go as it is. Okay, so that means that we are not gonna see each other for the next 2 weeks. Okay, and after that, so prepare now. Prepare for your 6th discussion here. Okay, week after Songkran, no? Okay, so during Songkran, so I hope you enjoy travel, no? Hope you enjoy travel. You go anywhere, so it's just like a long weekend, right? The long holiday, right? So you can travel somewhere. So yeah, just use this time, no? To travel, so we can travel, we can get around already. So yeah, just use the opportunity to travel, to see more things, to see more things around. Okay, so enjoy traveling. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much about this week. Are you okay?
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so thank you very much for coming, okay, and participating in the class. And then I hope all the contents that we have discussed and I have provided here, so it could be useful. If you have any further comments, concern, questions, or anything, just let me know, okay? We still have 1 week, I would say, because if you like okay with the schedule, so we still have 1 week to talk about this thing after the discussion of the last group, okay? So if you want to know more about things, so we still have time to talk about anyway. So if you find like, if you feel like, yeah, you need something more and you need to know something further from the particular units, so just let me know, okay, so I can prepare and add something for you guys to yeah, anything that can benefit you guys, so I can just prepare for you guys anyway. Okay, so just let me know. Okay, so you know where to find me. All right, so if you don't have anything further, so thank you very much for coming. Okay, thank you very much for participating. Okay, I hope you enjoy the class. I hope it won't be too heavy, and I hope it won't be too stupid. Okay, anyway, so thank you very much and enjoy your holidays. Okay, and I'll see you in the next 2 weeks. Okay, have the good weekend. See you then. Bye bye.
Thank you, teacher. You too.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
You
you.
teacher.
Thank you.